Hello, everyone. Good evening. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Happy Monday. How is everyone doing? I hope you've had a really good start to the week. Please hit that like button, everybody. We have a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about married to medicine. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. We are going to be talking about married to medicine. We're going to be talking about some news that broke about Quad and King. You all know we have talked about Quad and King before the people started talking about it. And I brought you guys some receipts. And so we will talk about the receipts that finally surfaced in the public. I have some married to medicine news, Real Housewives of Atlanta news, um, and Drew Sidora from Real Housewives of Atlanta, talking a little bit about Ralph is still in the basement. So we are going to talk about that. There's also some Potomac news. Yes, so we do have a long live ahead. All I ask is that you please hit that like button. And yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to start with Dr. Simone finally decides that she has had enough of Jackie. And at this point, I'm just like, should I cover, maybe I should cover the recap at the same time. And maybe I should talk about the recap at the same time as the news that has happened. Okay, so let's quickly talk about the newest episode of Married to Medicine. What did you guys think of the new episode of Married to Medicine? For those who watched it, what did you guys think of the latest episode? What would you rate it if you had to give it a rating? What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being terrible and then 10 being excellent. What would you rate the latest episode of Married to Medicine? Put it in the chat. Okay. Let me see what the people are saying. Candy says it's a 7. Okay. Okay, Candy. Candy might be onto something. I definitely think this episode was a really good episode. I definitely enjoyed the episode. I think one thing that is very, very clear from this episode is Heavenly is not to be trusted. Okay. I feel like I know a lot of people like Heavenly, but Heavenly is not to be trusted. Heavenly said something that I don't know if a lot of people picked up on. When she was having the conversation, I think it was at the pool, when they were talking about what happened between them, Heavenly basically said that she said the things that she knew to say. She said the things that she felt needed to be said so she can get out of in let me just bring that banner up first of all. I am paraphrasing. But ultimately what this lady was basically trying to say is I said what I needed to say because I did not want to show up um to this event, to this girl's trip. So of course I used the words that I needed to use. Those are very, very concerning words because that means that it was intentional. She literally said something along the lines of she knew the words she needed to make it happen. I'm paraphrasing, everything is alleged, but she does say something that alludes to her saying something that she knew needed to make it happen. Now let's read in between the lines. What does that mean? She probably did not want to come to the girls' trip for whatever reason and decided to hop on the fact that she had some sort of altercation with or interaction with Simone to then phrase it as something where she felt unsafe. Remember how I said this is definitely giving the vibe that they want to find a way to get her off the show. That's the vibe it is given. It's given they're trying to look for a way to get that lady off the show. And by that lady, I mean Simone. And I think that Heavenly is trying to push Simone out. Because why else would you go to certain people to say, oh, she's unhinged? She was aggressive. I did not feel comfortable around her, considering all the things that Heavenly has done. Imagine the people ran to production or whoever it was, higher ups, to say, oh, I feel so, it's very aggressive. She is so unhinged. I don't want to be around her. How would she have felt? Think about all of the things that Heavenly has done since day one. Heavenly has been in Contessa's face. She's been screaming, your mama. And Contessa was literally saying her mama that died in 2010. And this lady still said yes. And this is someone that we're meant to think she was upset and saddened by Simone's behavior. Let's be for real. How many times has Heavenly shown up in a way that has been unhinged? It's not the first time. She does this all the time. And so I think it's very, very shocking, right? When Heavenly makes it seem like, oh, yeah, I was just so scared. And, she was so unhinged. It's like, where did it even come from? Why would you think it's okay after everything that's happened to even put your arms around her like you guys were cool, knowing fully well what you did? It doesn't make any sense. You knew exactly what you did. And so it's very interesting to see how it feels like everyone is rallying around Heavenly, is giving the impression they are trying to push Simone out. And if they're able to successfully push Simone out, let's believe they are going to be gunning for Toya next. That is absolutely what it is given. And what I don't understand is why Dr. Jackie continues to pull Simone to the side. Honey, pull Heavenly to the side. How many times has Heavenly done some crazy ass ish? You guys let her do whatever she wants to do. You let her do whatever she wants to do. But the moment someone else gets unhinged, you want to pull the person to the side and not check Heavenly for everything that she has done so far. Please get lost with that. And so I just think that it is so obvious that they are trying to get Simone out. I think that Heavenly knew exactly what to say to get the reaction that she wanted. And because why would she literally say she knew the words she needed to say to make it happen? Those are very, very specific words. What does that mean? You guys, let me know if you guys have a different perspective of what that means. To me, that means that you knew exactly what you wanted to do. You wanted Simone to get in trouble because why else would you say she's unhinged, she's all of those things, and say that you said those things because those were what you needed to say to make it happen. That is a very intentional thing. That sounds like somebody that is mean and is definitely trying to get you in trouble. So I see right through Simone, not Simone, I see right through Heavenly. Um, and it's interesting because it's obvious that Simone sees right through her as well. Because if you see when they were at the poolside and having a private conversation, you could spot that Simone deeped it. That this is who this lady is. She ain't never going to change. This is who that lady is. She is not going to change. That much is so obvious. And she was just like, do you know what? I'm going to just tolerate it. And just, I know we see each other. It is my fault for thinking you're a friend to begin with. And I do have to say this to Simone. Look at the way Heavenly treats people. What makes you think that she'll treat you any differently? Just because she treats Jackie some kind of way? Look at how in the next preview she throws Jackie under the bus. Heavenly is a friend to no one. And I think the earlier everyone realizes she is not capable of that. It's like you're expecting a square to be a triangle. That's not going to happen. And so I just think it was very, very interesting. I need Simone to keep her eyes on Heavenly. Heavenly is a dangerous player. And I hope people observe that. Heavenly is the type to stir ish up. And the moment she feels like she has something against you, she is going to run to the people Run to the people. Oh my God, can you imagine? Run to HR. This is what this person has done to me. I feel unsafe. That is the vibe that Heavenly is giving me in this moment. And I know a lot of people love Heavenly, so some of the people will probably come in the comments to drag me. But as long as you keep it respectful, I will not delete and block you. If you don't keep it respectful, we block people over here, honey. We delete comments and block people over here because I'm not going to tolerate disrespect in my own yard. Just FYI. Now, the other thing that I've been talking to you guys about, and I don't know if you guys clocked it. In my opinion, Mimi hates Toya. There is nothing anyone can tell me. That lady hates Toya. When they were all sitting down at dinner talking about it, everybody was chiming in. The moment Toya chimed in, Mimi had something to say. Stop interjecting. And I'm like, sis, you have a hard on for Toya. That much is obvious. And it's becoming way too obvious. I've been saying this for a while, and I know a lot of people have felt like, oh no, you're defending Toya. No, it's not about defending Toya. I observe people's behaviors even before they openly say certain things. I observe tone, I observe body language, and exactly what is being said. And over the last couple of months, I've talked about how I feel like Mimi does not like Toya, and I believe I am right. And I feel like this episode has showed that as well. If you guys noticed, why are you jumping to on Toya? Everybody's chiming in at dinner. Everybody had little itty bits to say, but your energy was focused at Toya. You don't want Toya to get involved, but you are involved. Other people are involved and can chime in. And it's like, Mimi, you are so stuck up Heavenly's behind, it doesn't even make sense. And one of the things I've always found interesting is for Mimi, who acts like she's above it all, I'm above the BS, I'm above it all. What do you mean? You cannot be above it all and be friends with somebody like Heavenly. That shows that you are not above it. You are right there down in the gutter like everyone else, in my opinion. And so that is also part of why I've always felt like Mimi's slip was showing. In addition to that, the constant confessionals talking about Toya, the constant confessionals, any little thing, it's shots fired towards Toya. And so that doesn't give the impression of somebody who has no issue with another person. It's given, sister, you are hella pressed about this lady, and that lady ain't done nothing to you. That's what it's given. And I know some of y'all will say, oh, this was before Toya. This was after Toya started called them eating ass bees. This this actually started way before that. And if people were paying attention, you would notice if you go back, run back the tape, you will see the number of times. Maybe one of these days, maybe I need to do a tally of every time Dr. Mimi brings up Toya in her confessionals or decides to sly Toya in some way throughout and do a tally. It is definitely given, sister, you hate that lady. I don't know what that lady ever did to you. I actually think like it may not even be anything that Toya did. I think she just doesn't like her. A couple of days ago, I was thinking about it and I was like, is there also an element of jealousy? And I know I talked about it in a previous video, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. But I do also think there is an element of jealousy there. Toya lives a more softer life compared to what a lot of these women live in or the sort of lives they live in, right? A lot of them are busy working long hours, a lot of shifts. A lot of them are in positions where they are having to be more in their masculine rather than their feminine. And then you look over there at Toya, and Toya, a lot of times, be just, it's almost giving passenger princess. She's just out here living life, moving into properties that she loves, and just doing her own thing. And so I do wonder if there is also an element of that when it comes to Mimi and Toya. But I feel like Mimi definitely hates that lady's guts. And I definitely see something brewing between Mimi and Toya. It is only a matter of time. It's funny that Mimi says that Toya is trying to antagonize things when all Toya is trying to bring is clarity. I don't know if you guys noticed. At the pool, Heavenly brought Toya up in the conversation. Heavenly said what she said, and then she kind of brought Toya into it by insinuating she wasn't sure or she didn't think her and Toya had an issue. And then Toya was there taking notes. And then she kind of made it seem like that was the genesis of the problem between her and Simone when that was not. Why didn't Miss Mimi, who wants everybody to stay on point, say to Heavenly, was that the root of your issue? No. Instead, she decides to jump in when Toya is trying to then say her bit and try to explain. Actually, from my perspective, you and I were already not cool. So why would you think that we are cool? We're not cool. You've had lots to say about my husband, my family. Don't think that we are cool. And so I think it was very, very interesting that Toya was not allowed to respond. And then Mimi then jumped. It was almost like Mimi jumped on her in some way. And I really did not like that at all. I think it definitely just showed, girl, you do not like that lady. The bits that made it even worse for me was when Toya literally was like, get away from me, Mimi. And she still kept trying to follow Toya around. Like, what are you doing? It's definitely giving, you don't like the lady. Why are you acting like you want to be all up under her and around her? There's no need for that. You don't want her. You don't want to be around her. That is okay. Leave it and let it be. Instead, nah, she was over there like, yeah, trying to chime in and everything and move and follow Toya around. So the same thing that she is saying, the same thing that she's saying about Toya, and she feels like, oh, Toya is trying to be antagonistic towards Heavenly. When I personally don't believe that that was what Toya was trying to do. Toya was trying to hold everybody accountable. Let's have the conversations. Let's not brush things under the rug and act like we're all good and then it comes up again. Let's be honest, a lot of these married to medicine girls are fake. They don't really want to address things. They want to act like we're all cool, bury it under the rug, and everybody moves on like ain't nothing ever happened before. And so I think it was very interesting just to see how it felt that you could just tell everyone, a lot of the group is divided. A lot of the people seem to be on the side of Heavenly and rallying around Heavenly. And I'm glad that Simone at least has one person, Toya, because you can't really rely on Jackie. Jackie is so quick to pull Simone to the side and try to tell Simone to this. But how many times do you do that to Heavenly? Especially in front of Simone. And so I definitely feel like Jackie is not a very good friend to Simone when it comes to Heavenly. I think every time Jackie takes Heavenly's side. And I wonder if it is because Heavenly said, oh, her and Jackie talk about a lot of personal things. And so I do wonder that what they talk about, is that the reason why Jackie tends to give Heavenly a free pass? Because sometimes that happens, right? When you have somebody that does crazy ish, but then because everybody just sees them as this, oh, they're going through so much, everybody just gives them some leniency. It's like everybody is just like, oh, whatever, she's going through a lot. Let's not really take that. Like, no, we're not about to give you a pass because you're going through a lot. And I think Jackie does not hold Heavenly accountable enough for my liking. You telling that lady to apologize without outrightly telling her what she did wrong is setting her up. I think this is why she never learns. She will apologize and still do the dang thing over and over again. How many times have we seen Heavenly apologize? She will apologize today and do the same thing again. She will apologize tomorrow and do the same thing again. We've had the same Heavenly since day one. And it's actually delusional for people to be expecting a different heavenly, which is why I give Simone a little bit of grief. Because my thing is, Simone, you knew who this lady was. I don't know why you thought just because Jackie was friends with her, you thought that you and her could develop some sort of relationship and she'll have your back. She has never had your back. And so it is insanity to keep expecting that one day Heavenly will have your back. That ain't never going to happen. And so I'm finally glad that Simone, it may have taken a couple of years, but Simone finally decided that, you know what, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I'm not going to continue to deal with Heavenly. And I think she really had the right idea. Absolutely had the right idea. Let me see if I can play a clip of the final bit so we can dissect it a little bit more. Um, Let me just share my screen real quick. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat real quick. Good evening, Bajan. Good evening. Good evening. Tommy says Toya just got a Porsche for her son. They will hate till they are tired. Yep, absolutely love that for her. That's the thing. Like, they may hate on her, but she is living her best life. So the people are going to be mad for a long time, honey. Bajan says, I'll just listen because I don't watch Married to Medicine. And then vote on the poll. Yes, please, everybody, please vote on the poll. Please vote. Guys, are the ladies jealous of Toya's husband? That is in the poll. Please vote yes or no. So far, the people are saying it is a yes. But yeah, you guys keep voting. I definitely think that it's not like it's Toya's husband is just out here just appreciating his wife, even though his wife is overbearing, she does too much. He loves on her regardless. And I think a lot of the girls, a lot of the ladies probably do not like that because they don't have spouses that rate them very much, in my opinion. Okay, so let me share the clip, and then because it's YouTube, I have to keep pausing. I don't want no drama with copyright issues, so I have to keep pausing throughout.
Sit down. Can y'all sit down? God damn.
Are you okay if I take notes?
I don't give what you do. Cool.
Because I don't.
She has to take notes because she don't trust you. And I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the screens that we are also not privy to. And so I don't blame the lady. And then, Jackie, you're quiet when Heavenly had that to say. I'm just saying.
I don't give a either. Cool.
First and foremost, I'm running for a campaign that's very serious to me. When I came in the room, I thought that I...
Are you sure? The way you're moving is very, very easy to forget that you're running for a campaign, sis. It's definitely not giving campaign worthy. I hate to break it. I hate to break it to you, honey.
had an amazing launch. So I come off my high to come to Angel's event, and the first thing I heard was, oh, we have this list for you of you said wrong.
I love how they're running it back because they didn't say there's a list of the things you said wrong. Oh, Heavenly, Heavenly, Heavenly. The way she remembers things. And this is how you know someone who is constantly on edge. They always feel attacked because that's not what was said, honey. They said they had a list. Notes were taken. They didn't say there was a list of all the things you did wrong.
Toya was gracious enough to send notes to me as I was stuck in traffic.
Do you hear that? Toya was gracious enough to send notes to me as I was stuck in traffic. There was nothing about, oh, you didn't do these notes or whatever. At least not yet. She does raise something, but she did not say that.
I just want to make sure what you say is accurate.
I'm telling you what's accurate because I know I've done the research. I don't know how y'all can tell me this. But when Simone said Toya wrote the list, I already went to the negative because that's all I had ever experienced from Toya.
Not for me, my thing is, Heavenly, you're acting like Toya has been on your neck. From day one, you were the one that was so negative towards her being a stay at home. You called her lazy, you called her all sorts of names. If anything, she needs to have that perspective about you, because a lot of the things that you have done historically from day one have been negative towards Toya. You used to call her all types of stupid. You probably still do. And it's like, yet she's taking that pretty much on the chin. So I don't really understand when she says things like, oh, yeah, from Toya, she decided to take it as a negative. Take it however you want to take it, actually.
When you came with that, and then Simone, when we went to take a picture, what I heard in my mouth, get your mother, and she touched me. I was like, listen, I cannot go on a trip with y'all.
Did you hear her? She said she touched me. At no point does she accept responsibility for actually being the one that put her arm around Simone to start with, and then Simone literally shoved her arm off of her. Right? At least accept the fact that you touched that lady. You're bringing up the fact that she touched you when she was trying to get you off her. Yes, was it done in a way that I think was intense? Yes. Was it a little bit like, girl, please, maybe you should have removed her hand a little bit nicer? But I also understand, we ain't cool. Why are you trying to touch me? To me, that is a very aggressive stance. And so it's funny how it seems like Heavenly seems to be remembering it in such a different way, which gives me the impression that people like Heavenly, right, where they are very antagonistic. They assume that everyone is trying to antagonize them. You are the one who antagonizes people left, right, center. I don't know why you think everyone is trying to antagonize you when you're the queen of antagonistic behavior. And so it's almost like that same mirror by which she is meant to be looking at herself with, she is then pushing that onto other people.
Oh, so I'm not going. I extrapolated myself from the group, and I knew what words I needed to use to make it happen.
Did you hear what she said? I knew what words I needed to use to make it happen. I extrapolated myself from the group, and I knew what words I needed to say to make it happen. What does that mean? That means it was intentional. This lady knew what she was doing when she said what she said about Simone. And so for her to then have a private kiki moment with Simone on the side and act like, oh, well, I don't really do much, I didn't really say too much, is definitely given like, what the hell? What the hell?
I said it was toxic, it was volatile. I said Simone was unhinged.
Let me
And that's exactly it. You knew exactly what words to use. I won't be surprised. I think the people are not wanting to break the fourth wall, but I suspect that maybe Heavenly allegedly ran back to the people over there at Bravo to say, oh, I felt unsafe. I felt this, I felt this, I felt that. And then the people had to do what? Okay, you don't have to go. That's what I think happened. And I won't be surprised if Heavenly had a separate reason as to why she didn't want to go. Tommy says, I feel Heavenly doesn't deep the things she says to people. She just speaks and doesn't think about the implication. She wants to be cool the next day. She wants them to be cool the next day regardless. Absolutely. But the thing about it is this. If the people were saying the things that Heavenly says right back at her, she will not tolerate that. I hope you know that. She will not be cool with people talking about her like that. Even the way she has dogged Eugene, she would not be happy with that if that was done to her husband. And so I definitely think that it is so obvious the way in which Heavenly shows up. She doesn't really care. she feels like, oh, I've apologized. That should be the end of it. Honey, not with those things that you said about me. Not with those things that you have said about me. I am going to be feeling some type of way for a long time. And I think that Heavenly definitely misses that. So, anyways, those are my thoughts about it. I feel like altogether, I think it was a really good episode. I enjoyed watching Heavenly basically try to play the victim and act like ain't nothing wrong and she did not do anything. I think it was also very interesting to see the whole Mimi and Toya. I honestly can't wait for Toya to read Mimi for filth. I think it needs to happen and it needs to happen quickly because I think that Mimi is kind of getting around and getting away with acting like she's trying to bring peace into the group. Honey, you do not know the background of these people. You do not know who these people are. You don't know the kind of arguments that they've had over the years. You may have watched it on TV, but you do not know the half of it. And so for you to jump in from nowhere to be trying to antagonize someone in particular or try to pick a side when you don't have all of the facts is weird to me. It's definitely given follower behavior. So I think she has aligned with Heavenly, and that is the hill she wants to die on. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how that progresses. But I will be there when Toya decides to finally read Mimi, and it's only a matter of time. On that note, let's move on to some of the news, honey. Okay, so let's start with. Oh my goodness, sorry guys. Oof. Mm-mm-mm. Sorry. Oof. That was a proper sneeze. No one can feel everything. That's a huge sneeze. So, sounds like Simone has had it with Jackie. Ooh, I'm about to go for one more. Oh my god, that is so embarrassing. Sorry, guys. Ooh. I might need to wear a jacket because, ooh, I don't know what that sneeze was about, but Okay, so Simone and Jackie. Simone says, I see you're still defending a devil. Okay, so something must have happened before this. Ooh, I guess she just chose violence. One second, guys. Okay, so Simone says, at Jackie, I see you are still defending a devil. Then someone said, I can see why Simone is no longer practicing with Miss Switzerland. You saw the footage, amen? I think it would be exhausting always trying to keep the peacemaker facade after all these years. So it sounds like Dr. Simone and Heavenly are not feeling each other right now. Or at the very least, Simone ain't feeling Jackie right now. And I can understand, especially when you've known someone for long and you expect them to ride for you, and it feels like they're never riding for you and always want to correct you, but leave the other person and tell the person to apologize because they're being the bigger person. Nobody wants all of that nonsense. And so I think there's an element of that. Bajan says, bless you. Thank you so much. I don't know why I'm sneezing. Look here, I'm like, maybe I need to put myself in like a whole jacket and have some hot cocoa before I go to bed. But yeah, let's see what the people are saying. Someone says Simone's plays victims so bad. You are no better than Heavenly, my love. Oh, no, nobody on the cast wants to take accountability. What's the difference in saying someone was being aggressive, which Simone was, but and calling someone the devil? Both statements can damage careers. No, let's be serious. Who cares if someone says your doctor is the devil? Like, I don't really think that people care as much as people think if someone says their doctor is aggressive, because you're not about to bring that aggression on me, honey. Although I don't play with the devil either, but I don't know. I personally think those are two different. They have two different implications. Someone says it's time for Simone to take a break and take Toya with you. Another person says Heavenly flat out lied. Mimi don't like Toya because in that moment Toya asked the right questions. Quad was being messy when she called Heavenly with the sidebar. Absolutely. They're saying keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Dr. Jackie doesn't want her business in these streets about Curtis, so she remains ooh friends with Heavenly. Ooh, that is a good one. Do you guys think that? Do you guys think that the reason Dr. Jackie keeps being so cool with Heavenly and letting Heavenly run amok is because Heavenly knows all her secrets? Ooh, this person might be onto something. Someone says it's kind of interesting because Jackie portrays herself as poised, calm, and quiet. So it's odd that she would be such good friends with a persona like Heavenly, unless she likes that Heavenly can say the things she can't. Yep, that is definitely what it is given. You all know I've talked about this a lot where I felt like it almost feels like Jackie loves that she can use Heavenly to do a dirty work, basically. And I think that that is what has happened and continues to happen. Um, Someone says Dr. Jackie is always going to defend Dr. Heavenly because she's low key her mouthpiece. Absolutely, that's what it feels like. That is what it feels like. Jackie just told Heavenly to apologize to Simona for what? I wouldn't. She's mad because Heavenly told her friend Quad what she said. Simone acts like she hates Quad. Whoever said that, baby's. Ugh, I can't even read all these things. I need punctuation sometimes, man. I struggle. Okay, so there's mixed comments. Some people are on Simone's side, some people are on other people's side, which is fair enough. Um, Team Jackie or Team Simone? Let me put up a poll for y'all. Guys, please hit that like button as you guys come in. The likes are not matching. Okay, so wow, it was unanimous. People believe that the ladies are jealous of Toya's husband. I actually thought one person was going to say no, but it looks like 100% everybody thinks that the ladies are jealous of Toya's husband. That is very interesting. So now I'm going to do a poll. Are you Team Jackie or Team Simone? Let's see what you say. Okay, let's see what the people are saying. Team Jackie or Team Simone? Do you feel like Jackie is always defending Heavenly? Let us know. Okay, so I see someone has voted. Someone has voted Team Simone. Let's see. There is a poll in the chat if you guys want to vote. Another person has said Team Simone. Wow, Jackie ain't even getting one. Okay, Jackie has gotten one vote. Okay, Jackie. Jackie has gotten one vote. Guys, keep voting. Let's see what you think. Team Jackie or Team Simone? Yep, let me see. Let me see how you guys are voting. Guys, for those who have just come in, we're currently talking about Married to Medicine. We're currently talking about the feud that seems to be brewing between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Simone, which has now trickled into Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone's relationship. Because Simone is basically checking Jackie live, honey. She is like, I see you are still defending a devil. I'm just trying to figure out, like, where, like, don't get me wrong, Jackie always defends Heavenly, but at the same time, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what did Jackie do here that has given Simone the impression that Jackie is defending Heavenly? I don't understand. Although I know that Jackie always defends Heavenly, that much is certain. It has happened so many times. I've seen it happen so much. I honestly think it's a very toxic relationship, in my opinion. It's given, I can use you to say the things that I don't want to say out loud, but I know you will say it. So I'm going to just let you say it. And when you act unhinged, I will deny it. And I think we did see something like that coming up soon, where it looks like she will be denying it. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. Um okay, let's move on. What was the next thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, that's how you all know that I don't even care about this situation anymore. But there was, if you remember, Cecil had a conversation with his sons about how they are the reason for the arguments between he and Simone. To be completely honest with you guys, it's not surprising. I think it's the fact that Miles did not give a dang. Miles was just like, "Oh, really? Like, oh, we probably cause." He was like, he didn't care. That boy does not care. That boy does not have empathy for anybody. He does not care about anybody else but himself. And so I don't really feel like going into it in much detail, to be completely honest. Um, I don't think this conversation was any different from some of the conversations they've had, because it's not like he was saying, really putting his foot down. He really wasn't. So I don't even feel the need to go and deal with and have the conversation about this. Now, what I do want to have a conversation about is how this aka Quad's boyfriend, which I guess we can call ex-boyfriend now, has chosen to expose that he's no longer the boyfriend. Can you imagine? So here's how it happened. Now, for those of you who watch and are consistent, you guys know, not Tommy saying I haven't done Quad and King. That's what I'm talking about right now. Maybe your thing is a little bit late. But Tommy said finally, someone clearly wants to talk. At this point, she really wants to talk about Quad and King. So, you all know, a couple of weeks, maybe even months ago, I was talking about how I feel like Quad and King are not together. And I showed you guys some evidence as to why I think they're not together. And it sounds like they really are not together, honey, because look, someone says, just too handsome, Quad is a lucky woman. This dumb ass ninja says Locke ran out. He literally said Locke ran out. That guy does not give a ooh. That guy said Locke ran out. That is crazy work. He did not even wait for the reunion. He said, I'm not bound to no contracts. I'm gonna say what I want to say. What do you think happened, guys? What do you think happened between Quad and King? Because this man literally said Locke ran out. Tommy says, I've been waiting on it. Girl, now you have it. She said Locke ran out. Bajan said, I'm just listening as I never watched it. Oh yes, that is so true. I hope you're able to follow as you're watching. Yeah, King said Locke ran out. I'm like, this is what happens when you date a disrespectful ninja. This man was not even thinking about like how would it land for you, what is going to happen with the social media. Like, why is he going to openly, outrightly say something like that? Like, that is so problematic. And I just think, like, you're not, even if you're not with her anymore, I always feel like, don't you feel a sense of like, I still need to cover her? I don't need to publicly say her luck ran out because we're no longer together. That's crazy work. And it's lucky given that it's crazy work. It's definitely given that you are shady, because why can't you just go quietly? You have to make us know that you left her. That's what it's given. It's given, I need to make it clear. That's the thing sometimes with all these ninjas, right? The moment they dump you, they feel like they must make it clear that they dumped you. The world must know that I left her. She did not leave me. Now, I'm going to throw him a little bit of a bone. Maybe he's doing that because he knows she's going to get on national television and try to tell an alternative story. So he's trying to get in front of it and say his story, but I think there's a better way of doing it than what he just did, in my opinion. So Tommy says nothing happened. He just didn't like her like that, to be honest. Yes. Well, I'm sure something still was probably the end of it. Um, there was probably a last straw of some sort, but I do agree he never really liked her. I think he was there for a good time, not a long time. Imagine you're just trying to skr, have a little bit of fun, enjoy the companionship of being with this girl that is a baddie, a lot of the guys want, only to then find out that this lady wants a child. And now you're thinking, I have to sit here and do all of this and travel these many times just because she wants a baby. When that's not what you signed up for. You are here for a good time, not a long time. And so I definitely get the impression that that is what happened. I think she ultimately probably thought, like, oh, yes, he really liked me. He's this. Yes, he probably liked you just as a quick little snack, quick little person that he can date for a couple of months. He was not thinking long term. Let's be clear, a man that is thinking long term with you would have proposed to you. A man thinking long term with you would make a decision about where you guys would live if you guys are moving in together. But notice, they couldn't even agree on where they're going to live because he's like, no, I'm not moving out of my house. It's definitely given that that man does not really like her like that. And so I just think that it is so obvious that man never really liked her. When you think back to every time they were talking about the whole not egg freezing, embryo and IVF and all of that, he just looked uninterested. He looks like he was not liking the fact that she was adding weight, because he made a comment about calling her big back. And I just thought, like, I don't know how people joke with their partners, but I'm not that kind of girl that jokes with my partner like that. There's no way you're going to be calling me a big back and I'll be like, ooh, I'm a bit. No. All those like deprecating jokes is a no. And so when I saw this last night, I was not surprised. I was just like, yep, that sounds about right. That definitely sounds like a salty man, in my opinion. Tommy says it was very obvious he didn't care for her about her feelings. I feel so bad for Quad. She moved way too fast. Yeah, I think he definitely didn't care about her feelings. You could tell because all of the little comments that he would make made it very obvious that man did not care about her feelings. You could tell that his heart was not really in the whole IVF thing. I feel like he probably was relieved that he did not get her, or wasn't having a baby with her, because I don't think deep down he wanted it. In my opinion, I don't think deep down he wanted it. I think that, yeah, I think he was just thinking like, oh, Quad, after one, okay, we'll forget about it and move on with our lives, not do it 3 times. And now you want to do it again? He's thinking, nah, this ain't what I signed up for. I'm not doing this. So yeah, it's such a shame. But I think this is another lesson for people. This is what happens sometimes when you get desperate. When you get desperate, you tolerate things like disrespect, lack of commitment from somebody. There's no reason, if we're being completely honest, there's no reason Quad should even be trying to have a baby with him, knowing fully well that he's not committed to her in any way, no serious commitment. So I'm not surprised. There was nothing keeping him there. And now that he knows she doesn't have a baby with him, he's like, I'm out. I do not have to be here. There's nothing tying us down long term. And so that guy got to running, in my opinion. Tommy says, I don't even know what Quad was thinking. She really believed she could build a life with him. I low-key think it was desperation. I think that she got to a stage where she really wanted a baby. And she saw those red flags, but she was like, I'm going to ignore those red flags. I'm going to stay and act like I do not see them, because I know ultimately what I want. I want a baby. And I feel like that's all it was. I think she knew what she wanted and she was not going to relent. She was like, I'm going to ignore anything that is inconsistent with what I want. And I feel like that's exactly what she did. So that's what I think personally. And he did not stop there. Someone says, I don't think they're together anymore. That's sad. Someone said, I can confirm that I left that situation. This is King here. I can confirm that I left that situation. And this is what I mean. When a guy is so quick to make it clear, he's like, I need the people to know that you did not leave me, I left you. So if it was up to you, you will continue to tolerate me breadcrumbing you just because you wanted a baby, just because you wanted that situation. Right? So he is making it clear. He's like, nah, I want it to be clear that I left you. But I guess my question is, does it matter who left who? As long as everybody can move on with their lives. You go left, let me go right. Right? So I think it's also an ego thing. It's an ego thing to be able to be like, I left you. And I think that's why he made it clear. He could have said in this, oh, I don't think they're together anymore. Oh, yes, you're right. We're not together anymore. That could have been the end of it. This ninja says, I can confirm that I left that situation. It was very important for this man's ego for us to know. And look at us. We do not even know the guy like that. But he wanted all of us to know that no, I dumped your quad. I was the one who left your quad. And so he made that very, very clear. And so I just think that it's so sad. I definitely wish that things, well, to be fair, I wanted her to leave him. But I guess it doesn't really matter who left who. But it's a little bit annoying that he had the audacity to be able to say it so publicly that he left her. And he knows exactly what he's doing. Then someone says, gotta do what's best for you. We only get one chance on the earth. Like, okay. We've seen it long ago that it was going to happen. We've seen it long ago. I've clocked it. I did a deep dive on it a couple of months back where I said that they're not together. Faye said she wanted to be ahead of Gregory and his wife. She wanted that more than anything else. I would not be surprised because she definitely was giving Sweet Tea a lot of grief when Sweet Tea was on the show, making all sorts of comments that I thought was absolutely outrageous and completely unacceptable when it came to having babies. And so it's very sad. I still would never gloat about what she is going through. I'm just not that kind of person. I know like some people are like, yeah, that's her. That's not my place. I'm not the karma watcher, honey. I do not know whether that is or it isn't. I don't really think that's my business. But what I will say is, I definitely think that the man was trying to make it public that he left her and did not want her coming to come and say something else. He's like, let me clarify for y'all once and for all. We're not together because I left her. I think he's also trying to make it clear because I'm sure in a couple of months when she starts getting asked, she's probably going to make it seem like, oh yeah, well, you know. So the fact that he is coming out in front of it, he's probably like making sure that it never happens, that she can't talk anything smack or say anything smack about him because he's gotten out of it. He's gotten ahead of it in that way. Guys, please hit that like button. Please and thank you. I'm glad she got off before she had a baby with him. She's better off not having a child with him, honestly. Absolutely. Definitely think she is. But at the same time, I guess sometimes you always think how bad do you want the kid? Do you want the kid more than you want the man? And so I know that that's why some women still stay in situations with certain men just so that they can get a kid out of the situation because for them they want a kid more than they want that man, so they're like, if I have to suck it up and act like I want the man so I can have the kid, sure, that's what I would do. But that's how some women sort of handle their business. Definitely not my preference, but I do also appreciate that. I do know that that's how some people handle their biz. So Tommy says he's younger than her and I don't see him as a mature person. Yes. He's always come across very childish, very all about his ego. You know, when he was like, a man cannot move into a woman's house. I'm like, okay, you can have that perspective or whatever. But it was also the way he said it, and also the way he was talking about like having a male child or something. Like, it was just giving the impression like he was very childish, a little egotistical, very I'm a man sort of vibe. So yeah, definitely very traditional kind of man. Tommy said, "Who cares who left? How old is he, please?" Yep, definitely. He's definitely giving childish because I can't believe at like what 40 something you care about making it clear that you left. It's like who gives a damn? Do you know what I mean? Like we're not in high school anymore. We're not 20s. We're not in our 20s anymore. We're like, oh yeah, I did not give him the opportunity to leave. I left. Nah, he's like, mm-mm. But look here, I'm curious. How old is King? Tommy, do you know how old King is? Because I think you said he's younger than her. Let me know. Put it in the chat if you know how old she is. How old he is. Let me see what the people are saying. We've been saying this for a long time, but funny how bloggers didn't even notice. Well, I was one of the bloggers who noticed, honey. I covered this ages ago. Someone says good for Quad. I like King at first, but he became too full of himself and like he was the prize. Yeah, clocked very, very early on. I think yeah, a lot of the people thought I didn't want her to find love. I wasn't happy for them. And it wasn't that. It's just, I think I'd be noticing certain behaviors in people early, even when other people don't clock it. Like, there was a point where I did psychology, I did philosophy at some point, I did law. So, like, I'm very, very observant when it comes to human behavior and body language and all these different types of things. And so sometimes some of the things I call out are things that I have thought about, things that I've really seen. I've seen examples of. And but yeah, he's done talking too much. He's doing too much talking. She deserves better. Absolutely does. I mean, his true colors started to show after his fight with Dr. G. He started acting like a clout chaser to me, honestly. And this season, he seemed a bit mean to her and not that into her. Absolutely. I think it was very clear from that whole Dr. G and situation. I felt like why are you trying to get into a physical altercation that was not necessary? I knew that and I called it out then and everybody was saying, "Oh, he's been a good man." I remember someone was saying to me that basically indirecting about, I'm not used to a man protecting his woman. I'm like, "Nah, it ain't about that." There's certain things and things that I've observed at that stage and I was right. You know? It's just like I was right. It's just like the people are catching on now, but I was right when I was saying those things. And I remember like people would drag me in the comments about it. And I'm just like, what did I say? All I'm calling out is that that behavior is not normal. And the way in which he was moving during that was not normal. But the people were so blinded by perceived protection that they just could not see the reality right in front of their eyes. But anyway, he started acting like a clout chaser to me, honestly, and this, yep, he's definitely been mean to her this season. He's made very derogatory comments towards her. Um, yep, like really, is that necessary? It ain't. It ain't. Even in the confessionals, they were so far apart. They never even sat down close enough like they knew each other. One said it's crazy their relationship seemed forced. There was no affection. He never really smiled unless he was around the guys. She seemed more into him. Yes, that is so true. He was never really into her or all over her. Yep. She has to start all over because our eggs were almost ooh. I don't like the statement about saying our eggs are almost fried. And now she has to start all over getting to know someone. And by the time she may be almost 50, the whole situation is too sad across the board. Yep. And this is why I really feel like women, we need to stop wasting our time in relationships that don't serve us. Let's say she had left this person ages ago. She would have moved on, found a nice little tenderoni that would take good care of her, that would be happy to have babies with her. But instead, she wasted her time with this man. How many years did she date this man for? You know? And so I definitely just feel like it's definitely very sad how everything has gone. Faye said, I feel he was guarded because he wasn't in it as she was. Quad concentrated on a different life. Oh, Quad needs to concentrate on a different life and blessings will come in a different way. Thankful she didn't end up in legal trouble. Yep, absolutely. I think she just needs to accept what it is and move on. Like you win some, you lose some. And I guess the big thing is like taking the lesson from what you finally learned to make sure it doesn't happen again because it's like you're too grown. Please don't let it happen again. You need to be able to spot people or spot someone that is not into you. It took me a few seconds to know that this is BS. And instead, you were there for years. And so I definitely wish that she would be a lot more aware. Just because someone gives you financial things or provides financially does not mean that they are into you, especially to a lot of these men who come from backgrounds where providing is a norm. To it does not mean a thing. They can do it for the next girl in a heartbeat. It doesn't mean they like you any differently. This is just how a lot of these men are raised, right? From particular cultures. And I think sometimes when certain women are not used to men like that, you can assume that this man is all into me because, well, he got me a Rolls Royce. It was all into me because he paid for my birthday. So a lot of these men from these certain countries and stuff that they grew up with that provider mentality, that is how they will move because that's how they were raised. They were raised to be providers. They were raised to take care of women financially. The things you need to be spotting is how do they also take care of you emotionally? Are they into you like that outside of providing for you on a financial level? And I think she probably was getting all the gifts and thought, oh yeah, he likes me. He's just not very vocal. Nah, he doesn't like you like that. He's here for a good time, not a long time. And people need to be able to differentiate it so they don't waste their time. Because now I feel like she's wasted her time. She really has. And it's so sad because it's like, how do you waste your time with someone like this and now you have to start over again? But anyway, let's move on to something else. Let's move on to Real Housewife of Atlanta. So Drew recently had an interview where she was basically asked about the whole like now she's working with Porsha after they were beefing last season. Because as you some of y'all may not know, but Porsha and Drew have a whole Go Naked collection line together. So she has one with Cynthia and she has one with Drew now. So the people are questioning her about it. I'm just going to play it and we will see. Let me just make sure that there are no other comments about King and Quad before we move on. Faye says it was obvious he was too guarded. Quad should take a step back and be grateful she did not end up in legal trouble. Yes, completely agree. It was so obvious. I think the first thing is always knowing and being sure whether or not that man likes you. You know, I'm sure you've heard like our grandparents and would say like, don't make sure he likes you more than you like him. And sometimes I'd be thinking maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe you need to make sure you like him. You don't like him as much as he likes you.
And one of the things that came out of that was Porsha trying to come at you about this hairline. But then I see this ad come out about wigs and things. And guess who's one of the faces? I'll be darned, Drew Sidora.
Yours truly, I mean, I had an amazing time working with Go Naked for so many years. And
plus, let's be honest, their wigs be laid to perfection. And you all remember when Drew was like talking smack about Go Naked hair? And then the people saw her in some wigs after that, and the hair was not sitting right. It was obvious. I'm like, honey, go back to Go Naked because the hair was not laid at all. The hair did not look good. So I'm not surprised that Drew went back.
Portia and I really developed a real, true, genuine, friendship. So I was very saddened and disappointed in our bump in the road, but I can now call it a bump in the road because we have definitely gotten over it. She extended an apology on our reunion. And so anyone that knows me knows I am the epitome of a Chicago girl. Like, I am so real. I tell it like it is. Like, I don't hold back. I can definitely stand for myself, but I don't wake up on violence. I just really try to connect and just walk in my authentic self. So
To be honest, I definitely get that impression from Drew. I think if we look back to the previous season, she usually would not start it with people. But after you start it, Drew will definitely drag it. So she may not start it, but she is not going to run away from it. That has always been very clear. Tommy says, I'm glad Porsha and Drew have settled. I didn't understand their fight last season. Honestly, I feel like their fight was dragged way longer than it should have been dragged. I do think that Porsha was upset about Drew having dealings with her baby daddy without letting her know the extent of it. Um, I think Porsha is very protective of like certain spaces, and you can understand why, because once the baby daddy was then on the show, he's saying one thing to her privately, then saying something on the show, and then saying something else to Drew. So that's what happens when the cameras are involved, because now the cameras are capturing everything. And I think she knows how the show is and does not necessarily like to bring people that she is, I guess, cool with like that onto the show. Passion says Drew is better than me. Pavement Porsche would get dust from me. Yep, I definitely think that at this point it may have even been a scheme they both set up to come to us with the BS. Because the way they made up and got so cool like that is definitely one to be studied.
I never did anything wrong. So I didn't know I was catching all this smoke. But it was definitely, like the fan said, giving storyline, and she needed something to talk about. And I was kind of her punching bag with what she was dealing with personally. But again, not to beat a dead horse, she did apologize. We had a conversation. I think that's what's beautiful about our show, is that women are able to come together, have their differences, have their shade, have their tea, have their moments. But then at some point, some of us, I won't say all, but some of us can sit down and take accountability and get through these, challenging relationships and situations that we find ourselves in.
To be honest, right? I think that Portia, it was definitely given storyline. It was definitely given storyline. There was some storyline somewhere, honey. There was definitely some sort of storyline somewhere. I don't know if Drew was part of the arrangement to come to us with a BS. I don't know if Porsha and Dennis, or Denim, like some of the people call him, decided to come to us with the BS. I'm just glad that BS storyline is done, because I did not like it one bit. I was very excited for Porsha and Drew to be on the same season together, because I've always thought they got on so well. And you can tell that they genuinely like each other. And so I was definitely not liking that season at all. It was definitely a storyline. It did not make any lick of sense.
But how do you do it? Like, I've always actually wanted to ask someone like you this.
That's a good question. How do you do it? Because one minute y'all hate each other, the next minute you guys are cool and you're like besties. It's like, what is going on? But Portia didn't want Dennis. If I remember rightly, didn't they go counseling and Dennis was cheating? Yeah, Bajan, I don't think Portia wants Dennis, but Portia is still very protective of people around her. I don't necessarily think it's a liking thing. Like, it's the same way, like, I know people that are very protective of like their friends. They don't want their friends sort of intermingling, their friends being friends with other people that they are friends with, because they feel like it gets very messy. So I do understand, like, there's some people like that who are very territorial about friendships, people that they have in their lives that they want to maintain a good relationship with. Because to be honest, if you think about 1 minute, Dennis says something. If you can go back to some of the replays, Dennis says something, and then to Drew, to Portia, and then to Drew, he says something else. That can easily cause issues with their dynamic, with the friendship that they have going on. Tommy says, I agree, it was a storyline, like it didn't make any sense. Yep, it definitely did not make any sense at all. It was definitely giving storyline. Porsha didn't want Dennis and his hot dogs. Yep, that much was certain. It was obvious. Porsha did not want any piece of Dennis at all. But I think she still wanted that um she still wanted that, okay, I don't want my baby daddy on the show. Because let's be honest, those shows, they know how to turn them against each other. Look at Shamia. Shamia, season one of Shamia being full time, and she completely turned on Porsha.
How do you live with, like, all this drama's going around? Like, for me, I'd be staying up all night. I wouldn't be able to sleep, right? Because, like, I'm just so anxious about what's going on. Can you kind of block it out, know that things are going to get resolved?
Not everything is resolved. I can name a few that we have not had resolved, but I think over the years, because this was just my 5th season we finished filming, and my first season, yes, I was crying, I was up all night, I couldn't sleep. It was a lot to take in because I was a fish out of water. I came from scripted, and here I am in this world of reality that I'm not, really familiar with. But I can tell you, since I am still here, and I've seen so many changes on our cast. I don't know if I went away.
No, you're here. We're seeing.
Okay.
To be honest, I think it's one of those things you get used to it. You get used to it. Like, at the end of the day, man, you're on a show. You can't be as upset constantly. You're going to need to get over some stuff, in my opinion. And so I'm definitely with Drew on that. Like, you do get used to it over time. Drew's delivery isn't the best, but still, yep, I definitely agree. Her delivery is not the best. Um, Pavement Porsche needs to go and look for Bolo, not Bolo. Bolo is probably somewhere, doing a strip tease or something for a group of ladies. The thing is, PP could have been woman enough and take Drew aside and hash it out, but did it in front of everyone. Yeah, I definitely think that Porsha could have handled it differently, to be honest. I definitely think so. But at the same time, I can understand feeling blindsided if your friend did not tell you that they were bringing your baby daddy to film on a show, and then you get a random text message basically saying that your baby daddy is filming, and you're just like, why is everybody putting me in the dark about it? So I definitely think I understand it, but at the same time, I understand Portia maybe just being like, nah, fam, you did not have enough decency to give me a heads up about you filming with my baby daddy. You said you were doing music with him, not bringing him to my workplace. So I definitely get it, to be honest. I would be salty too if someone decided to bring my baby daddy that I'm even trying to make sure we have a good co-parenting relationship to my workplace, our workplace, and they couldn't even give me a heads up, but they called themselves my friend. I personally think Portia has a reason to be pissed. I just think the way she went about it was entirely too far. I think she dragged this as a storyline all the way to hell. And so that's where she was wrong. Shamina Shamina jumped on the bandwagon, and now look at her and PP are no longer her friends. Yep. Shamina needs to mind her own business and concentrate on her back peel, not the back peel. I even saw that the doctor was saying that he was not responsible or whatever. So we'll have to see what the court says. But yeah, she definitely needs to get it together. Yeah. Mimi is cracking me up. Hi, Mimi Sunny Peach. Hello. I think this might be your first time here, isn't it? You're welcome to the channel. Um, she said her name is Quadria. It's definitely is giving Quadria something. Oh, she's not wrong. Mimi is not wrong. It's definitely giving Quadria something. I know it sounds hilarious, but that's really her name, Qualendra or something. It's definitely giving quadrilateral, like something like that, and which is why she made the best decision to call herself Quad, because there's no way. Bajan said Dennis could have told Portia yes, and he didn't. And so that's why I feel like that's where it all started from. Dennis didn't tell Porsha. Dennis then told Drew that he told Porsha, knowing fully well he didn't. And that's why I say, like, bringing a baby daddy to work day, a messy baby daddy for that matter, to work day or to work, I can understand why the girl was not impressed. Not you talking about a math term. Yes, so quadrilateral. That's what it sounds like. Yo, it sounds quadrilateral. Like the name just sounds insane. Tommy said, I also said quadrilateral. Exactly. Like it all sounds crazy to me. Like I don't know who decides. Like, sorry if you're listening and your daughter's name sounds like that, but I'm sorry. It sounds like quadrilateral to me. Like there's nothing that, and now it brings back memories of being in maths class. I've always hated maths, so yeah. Mm-mm. Yep, Mimi. It's just like quadrilateral to me, honey. Maybe that's what we need to start calling her over there, over here on this channel. Hi, quadrilateral. Tommy says next season is going to be so hot for Shamia. I don't think I'm ready, girl. I don't think you're ready because we are probably going to be dragging Shamia by her back. Because that back peel, honey, we going to be dragging it. Because in actual honesty, if Shamia is on the same thing that she was on last season, she's gonna get dragged every episode. So she best be on her best behavior. But I don't believe she would be because y'all remember she was her and Kelly had lots to say about the new season and like digs up Porsha. So I'm like, I'm gonna get in that ass. Don't worry. I'm all ready. But anyway. Bajan says, yep, and people saying that Shamina should have looked into it as she has a condition. Yep, I saw that as well. And the thing is, it's like, yo, if you have certain conditions, you have to be very, very careful and you need to declare the condition so that they can then decide whether, ooh, there is breaking news. Shamia and Oompa Loompa, there is breaking news. We are going to pause what we are doing right now and go and do the breaking news, honey. Can you share this breaking news with me? Can I get a link, please? Put the link in our WhatsApp chat, honey, because I'm trying to figure out what the breaking news is. You can't just tell us there's breaking news and not drop it in the personal chat. Guys, please, oh, apparently there is breaking news. I wish that we had a breaking news song. Maybe we need to get one of those. Like a breaking news song to start with, to introduce it. Not her back, please. Let her heal the chemical peel first. Yep, we gonna drag her by that back if she's not careful. She needs to get it together, honey. Get it together. If she decides to come the way she was coming last season, I'm talking about Shamina, we are going to be all the way here for her. Toby says she's not even on her best behavior during her interviews. Don't think she would be at the reunion or on the show. Yep. Shamina is never on her best behavior, ever. Ever. Any little opportunity, she throws shades. And I'm just like, girl, the shade you were throwing so much that you had to be begging us and giving us some dang us music, it's not going to work this time around. But before I continue, let's go back to the breaking news, honey. Let's get the news. So, Quad confirms the split from King. Says the couple mutually decided to end their relationship in 2025. Okay. Who believes this? He says Kirk and I mutually decided to bring our relationship to a close in 2025. Quad tells us, while our time together encompassed many meaningful moments, that chapter of my life has now concluded. I wish him well. In 2026, I'm focused on moving forward with clarity, purpose, and thank you for your support. So who's lying? Because Quad is saying, Quadrilateral is saying to us that they both mutually decided, it was amicable, it was an agreement, there was a meeting of the minds. They both decided enough is enough. We do not want to be in this relationship anymore, and everybody went their separate ways. Who do we believe, please? Put it in the chat. Do you believe King was the one who said, let's break this up? Or do you believe Quad was the one who said, let's break this up? Because now it sounds, or do you think it was both of them? Put it in the chat. Quadrilateral, both, or King? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Let's see what the people are saying. Are you team quadrilateral, team King, or team both? Put it in the chat. Tommy says quadrilateral. Oh, we feel bad. Oh, that is so funny. He said we feel bad. Yeah, girl. I can't, like, quadrilateral has a nice ring to it. I may not let it up. Tommy says, no wonder King quickly came to say he broke up, please. Yep. I definitely think so. I think you remember when I said I do have a feeling he was also probably trying to get in front of it so that she doesn't give us alternative theory. And I definitely think it's very, very interesting that that is also now being said. So I will not be surprised if it was King who broke up, but King knows she's going to be on some, oh, we mutually agreed. And so King was like, I'm going to be petty and bring it up. Tommy says, I don't know who to believe. They both give me liar energy. Yep. Team nobody. Yep. I definitely get that too. I agree with that. I think that everybody is fighting for their own point of view. They're fighting to be seen as the innocent party in this whole debacle. And so I'm not surprised. I'm just like, bottom line is they've broken up. Someone said, oh, now he Kirk. Yep, because every time she's always called him King. And then all of a sudden now she's calling him Kirk. They have broken up. That is obvious. Someone said she tried, he tried, they tried, life goes on. Okay, that's a nice way of putting it. Well, we all seen that coming. Good thing he got out without a baby. Yep. Child, now you know it was not mutual. You even using his government name shows a bit of saltiness. Ooh. Who didn't see this coming from a mile away? So, funny enough, Kirk is his first name. King is his last name, but she's always called him King. But I guess she definitely wishes him the best. It's definitely given, I'm going to be formal, because why else is she saying basically Kirk? So this person definitely picked that up. Thank you for your support. I was like, please, was anybody supporting Team Quad, Team King? Let me see what you all are saying in the chats, in the poll. There is a poll up for you guys to vote. Let me know whose team you are on. Team King, Team Quad, Team both of them. Who do you think? Who do you think put an end to it? Who said no? Who said no to the relationship? King, Quad, or both of them? Okay, so it looks like most people don't believe that both of them story. Guys, keep voting so I know what you guys think. Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. But yeah, let's see what the people are saying, honey. So far on the poll. So yes, listen to Tommy. Please vote on the poll, y'all. So far on the poll, it looks like, let me see. It looks like, where's the poll? Sorry, guys, I'm struggling to pull up the poll. Give me a second. Okay, so far on the poll, it looks like majority of the people are Team King. So most people believe King's version of events. And then nobody believes that it was a mutual breakup. Ooh. So you lot don't think that it was a mutual breakup. And then I guess somebody must have thought it was Quad who broke it off. But majority of the people think it is King who broke up the relationship. So when we are saying whose team are you on, we're just talking in relation to who do you think broke off the relationship, yeah? So far, a lot of people are seeming to pick King. Not a lot of people voted, to be fair, but for the people who voted, it seems to be Team King. Um, I do see that, yes, but majority Team King. So yeah, guys, please keep voting so we know who y'all are riding for. Who do you guys think broke off the relationship? King, Quad, or you think it was a mutual breakup as Quad has just told TMZ? I'll give you guys 1 more minute to vote on that, and then I will talk about the results, and then we will move on to something else. Guys, please hit that like button if you haven't already, and please vote on the poll. Tell us whose team you are on. Like I said, when we talk about the team, we're talking about who do you think broke off the relationship? Quad, King, or both of them? Put in the chat or also vote. Okay, so I said I'll give you all 1 minute. Let me go over there and have a quick look. It's funny how I keep losing the bit where there is the vote, but I found it. Okay, so still same. People are still Team King in terms of feeling like King was the one that broke it off. Okay, I won't be surprised, to be honest. It definitely gives King is the one who broke it off. Especially because he made it clear he wanted to jump in front of it and make it clear that he was the one that broke it off. I just don't see someone deciding to come out and lie like that. But I think he was coming forward in advance because he probably felt like Quad will come and say something about it and wanted to control that narrative. He didn't know if Quad was going to say something bad about him. So he's like, let me get in there and say my little 2 cents quickly. Alrighty. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. Let us move on. Okay, so Kenya had some things to say about some of the bloggers. So y'all know there has been a lot of rumors going around in all over these YouTube streets about Kenya more. Heck, there's been a lot of rumors about Kenya. So Kenya is addressing some of them once and for all. Guys, please hit that like button as you come in. Shout out to my mod. Tommy is letting you all know. Thanks for joining in. Please hit that like button as you watch the live. Thank you so much, everybody. Please hit that like button. Okay, guys. Yes, let's get those likes up, please. Thank you. Y'all have been stingy with the likes tonight, honey. Please smash that like button. Thank you so much. Please and thank you. Okay, so let's go.
About the salon case. What truth? I mean, people are so obsessed with my salon. If you are so obsessed, book an appointment. Why are you so upset?
Yeah, but the word on the street is the place is always closed, allegedly. So when are they actually going to book the appointment?
With the salon, it's my money, it's my case. You know, people open businesses, close businesses, have businesses, don't have businesses, successful businesses, not.
Now, she is right about that. Businesses may fail, succeed, it happens. So she wouldn't be the first to have a business that is not doing well, right? So that I can definitely give her credit for.
Successful businesses. Like, let's just talk about the housewives, okay? Lisa Rinna had a clothing store. It's closed. Kyle Richards had a clothing store. It's closed. Like, people have businesses throughout the history of housewives, right? Some are successful, some are not. Just do your research. I don't want to be a hater. Do your research. Look at all the women that have businesses and that don't.
She's not wrong, right? Like, sometimes it happens. The business may not do well. You recalibrate, you decide, you know what, let me get myself together and let me come back and try again. Hopefully, the business will be better this time around. So, yeah, It does happen. I will give her that. I think the people are probably more so thinking like, Kenya, was this whole thing necessary? Like, was that even a smart business to even get into to begin with? I think that's more what the people are questioning.
Look at all the Fortune 500 companies that have businesses and they are closing their doors. Okay. Whether or not I keep my salon, that's still being written. We're still in court. Last week, I was not present in court. It was
Funny enough, I actually think that she should let it go. And I know it's hard, but if you're not, at some point, there has to be a point that you reach where you're like, do you know what, maybe I should let this go. And I say that as someone who has been considering a particular business that I own. I'm considering like letting that go. But recently things have really picked up in a certain area. And so I'm like trying to work out the numbers. I'm going to monitor it for the next couple of months just to see, okay, if it picks up at this rate, then I can keep it. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to let it go and just open my mind up to other possibilities. And I think that sometimes you can be very emotionally attached to your business. And I understand that your business is your baby, it's something that you birthed, really. I get it. But at the same time, if it's not working, sometimes it's important to cut your losses and move on to something else.
my attorney. And as you know, I built out an entire salon. I'm just going to just keep this quick because I said I wasn't going to talk about anything negative. And people try to, there's a really obsessed person that keeps having these, quote unquote eviction watches and stuff about my salon. So there was a hearing because
Who do y'all think she's talking about? I low-key wonder if she's talking about Michelle. I low-key wonder, it may not be, this is just me asking, who do y'all think she's talking about? Because I feel like Michelle is probably the one who breaks the story, because that's at least how I always find out about it. So I wonder if that's who she's low-key on under the table trying to talk about. Kenya went to higher class. She should have built up clientele. Kenya got to remember Kyle comes from money, as does Rena, I believe. Kenya allegedly used Brooklyn's money. Yes, I think that's something she said to get sympathy. I don't truly believe that she did, if I'm being honest. But yeah, she did say she used Brooklyn's. I think she said something about Brooklyn's college fund, if I'm not mistaken. But I just says hope she picks herself back up again. Yes, I agree. I really hope she does. I think that she really needs to, because things happen. It will get better. Just pick yourself back up. Sometimes it's hard, but you've got this, really. Tommy is saying, thanks for joining the live, everybody. Hit that like button. Let's get the likes up. Please. Thank you very much.
because when they would not pay me back my $80,000 for my tenant improvement allowance, I had a white box. I know a lot of you may not know what a white box is, but it literally is a brand new space that has never been touched. It literally
But my thing is, why would you spend? I don't think she's a very great business person, because why would you spend 80,000 on improving this place without already getting the buy-in from your landlord? I can't imagine any of my tenants doing something of that magnitude, right? And then later on telling me and expecting me to pay for it. Like, I'll be like, girl, are you okay? Who asked you to do this? Why is this appropriate? And so I just feel like she maybe, took it way too far. Tommy says, I get it too. I honestly hope it works out for her. I really hope it does as well. And Tommy thinks she's talking about her as well. Yes, Lucky, I feel like it's her, because I feel like she's the one that really breaks the story. I don't see anyone talking about it. Yeah, she's the one on top of that case mostly. Exactly. Like, none of us are really on top of it. Every time I cover the case, I usually give her credit, because that's where I usually hear about it, because I'm not on top of it at all. Tommy says, yeah, she's the only one. Exactly.
literally has no plumbing, no electrical, no anything. It's a white box. I built out a white box. It cost me over $300,000 of my own money in cash. Right?
Why would you do that? For property that is not yours, ma'am. and you did not get the buy-in from your landlord before you did that. I don't care if it's in the contract. You need to get a buy-in specifically for something that is of that magnitude, mama.
Right? So that's 3 years ago that I did that build out. So that's 3 years ago. I reported that on my taxes. Okay, so to me, it's a matter of principle. You need to pay me back the money. You can't, even if I leave, you need to pay me back the money. You cannot have a space that I improved to the tune of $300,000 that you can now rent to other people, including a whole separate level.
Now, let's be clear. I understand what she means about like leaving the property now after she has already made significant changes to the property. And so I get it, but the problem is, did you get permission before you did that? Was the landlord informed about this before you did all of that? These are the questions that I want to know. Badun says a lot of people don't like Kenya from her first season on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She did too much with the Apollo thing until Phaedra read her for filth. I definitely agree. Then PP gave her a well-deserved a whooping. Yes. I think she kept pulling her hair. I think she kept pulling her hair. That was hilarious, to be honest. I do think that Kenya definitely did too much. I think every time I think about Kenya, those scenes can play in my head. To be completely honest, those scenes play in my head where I keep thinking Kenya did entirely too much that season. With Phaedra and Apollo, it was like I just didn't appreciate that flirtatious behavior with Apollo. All of that, it was just so weird. And for me, it gives me the impression she doesn't have integrity, and so yeah, I've never really seen it for her since then, to be completely honest. Tommy says that's insane. Did she get this consent? Did he agree to pay for it? It doesn't make sense. I suspect there may have been something in the contract that gives the impression that yes, she can or he can, or I guess she can do those kind of improvements. But I would have said if you're spending that much money on specific improvements like that, you should definitely get some consent, permission, or at least inform the person that is your landlord. Who spends that much on a property they don't own? Who's a lawyer? I don't even think we can blame her lawyer. We need to blame her financial advisor, honey. Her lawyer is just like, I'm just doing what you tell me to do, honey. I'm following your instructions. The financial advisor is who we need to talk to. Whoever is advising her to spend that kind of money on that business without letting, no, that needs to be checked.
And not expect to pay me back my tenant improvement allowance. So shame on you for even having to get this far into court where I would have to sue you for not paying me back. Okay, it has nothing to do whether you can pay the rent or not. I was not in court. So if they said I had to pay into the court before case, in case I was ruled against or not, we don't know. I don't have a court date yet. So that's really just the gist of it. Is there any truth about?
Yeah, so I get it. I absolutely get it, but I still think that yeah, it's just completely like I just think she shouldn't have done that. She should have at least gotten some agreement first on the amount that she's paying. Tommy said, Kenya, he doesn't need to pay you back the money, unfortunately, especially if they both didn't agree. If not, you're at the mercy of the law. She definitely is at the mercy of the law, honey. She really is. A friend of mine had her first business. She decorated, made the shop nice. The landlord started to get greedy, raising the rent. My friend found another property. The first property, she stripped every bit of wallpaper she had hung off the wall and left. Oh, that is so funny. But yeah, sometimes I can really understand that because it's like, yeah, I have to. At the end of the day, I improve this property. You're not about to just take it and move on and act like everything is all good. I can definitely understand people feeling like you. I'm taking my ish with me. I think sometimes like landlords should actually try to reach agreements where possible, as long as you can afford it. This landlord may have not even been able to afford that 80,000 penny because if a tenant told me they spend 80,000 on my home, I'm like, yo, take me to court because I don't have that money to give you. Just take me to court. So I honestly, look, you do not blame the landlord, because what if the man does not have, or the man or woman does not have 80,000 to pay her? So he's probably like, let me take my chances in court, and I don't blame him. Okay, let me see what y'all are saying in the chat before we move on to a different story. I know Candy's busy, but ask her for advice. Yep, I definitely think instead of hanging out with her and going to Beyonce concert and all these things, not saying y'all can't do what you guys want, but at the same time, make sure you're getting some good advice. Make sure you are getting some good advice. Make sure. Okay, so let's move on to something else. Now, I don't know if you guys heard a rumor about people alleging that Kenya filed for bankruptcy. She's cleared that up. It's untrue. Let me just pull that up real quick before we move on. She said, never heard of this BS site, got people believing anything for clicks. I definitely did not think that at no point did I even think that this lady was filing for bankruptcy. Like, I'm just like, okay, the business did not work out, but I didn't get the impression that she didn't have enough money saved. It just did not make any sense that she would be filing for bankruptcy just like that. So I don't really believe the story. I'm glad she shut it down. Oh, I'm just realizing it's not coming up on my screen, is it? Give me a second. So here she said, fake AF. Never heard of this BS site. Got people believing anything for clicks. And yeah, like I personally don't think it's believable, to be completely honest. But anyways, guys, thank you so much to those who have just joined in. Thank you so much to everyone who has been hanging with us. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. We're going to talk about Drew Sidora, then we're going to move into Real Housewives of Potomac update. So Bashan, I think it was you who was saying something to me in my personal chat about whether or not Drew and Ralph is still in the basement. And I think I said I think Ralph probably still is in the basement. Sounds like today we finally got in confirmation. Mr. Ralph is still in the basement.
Drew, is that, a lot of women on the show haven't always been forthcoming about their lives and really what's going on for real, behind closed doors, but you have. And one of the things we saw.
Are you sure she has been? Are you sure? But I guess better than most, so sure.
The season was.
Let's give her that.
The whole situation with Ralph. Is Ralph still living in the basement? I got to ask you, Drew. Is Ralph still living in the basement?
Yes.
So
is
like, that is a long one. I'm lucky like interested in what are they arguing about in court, because why is it taking so long? Now, don't get me wrong, I know some divorces take a long time, but most times it takes a long time because someone is being difficult. So do you all think Drew is being difficult, or do you guys think this is all Ralph? I personally, my vote will be on Ralph. Considering Ralph and Martell are cool, my vote would definitely be on Ralph. Ralph being too difficult. That's what I think happened. I think Ralph has been difficult, and I feel like they have not been able to, get Ralph out of the basement. So, but we'll have to wait and see what happens over the next, I guess, couple of months. When the season comes back on, we'll see if Ralph is finally evicted from that basement. Baton says, wonder if she'll sell more Manor. I don't think she would. I think she would probably keep it. If I'm not mistaken, she bought that with cash. She doesn't have a mortgage on it. So that's probably her one secure asset. So she probably will not want to sell it. Especially if it's not like she pays a mortgage on it. I think she probably would not want to sell it. But she definitely needs to find a job, because she is going to need that money. Because if she's going through this drama financially with the business, no matter what, even if you've been on Real Housewives before and you've gotten used to that check and you don't have something else replacing that check, it is going to be a difficult time for you, regardless. no matter if you have money stored, because you are already accustomed to living a particular type of lifestyle, all of a sudden you now have to start readjusting the lifestyle a little bit and moving things around. And so I definitely think that that's what she's having to now do, in my opinion. Tommy says, not him still living in that dang basement. Gosh, I would hate for that to be me. Yep, absolutely. Definitely, please don't, make sure you look before you marry somebody, like Ralph. Make sure you don't ever end up with somebody like Ralph. I do not wish that on my worst enemy, because that man will be all up in that basement and deciding not to leave.
Is he in the basement now?
Well, not right now. Right now he's on vacation somewhere. I don't know where. He likes to travel.
Okay.
That's nothing new either. So he's doing what he does, but when he's here, he is still residing in the basement. So we're still going through our process. It's been 3 years. And, we're just trying to healthily co-parent our
It can't be easy having to see that man every day or almost every day, just casually in his boxes or robe or whatever it is that he wears around the house. Yeah, nah, that would be so irritating. Like 3 years of constantly still having to deal with you. Mm-mm. Baseman Billy and Peasant are on holidays. Oh, are they? I sent you an update on Drew and Basement Billy earlier, but can't find confirmation anywhere else. Oh, I don't think I've seen that one. To be fair, if you look at my my screen, you can see at the bottom it shows that one message is outstanding. That might have been your message, Bajan. I'll have a look. Yes, y'all vote the poll. Who is dragging the divorce, Ralph or Drew? Who do you think is dragging it?
beautiful kids. So.
Which is what you've been doing, and you've been doing a really good job at it. Thoughts on Nene Leakes potentially coming back this season?
Well, I don't know what's going on. I know that she was welcomed back into the Bravo universe. She was filming Ultimate Girls Trip, which I had the pleasure of attending their Atlanta stop. So that was actually my first time filming with Nene. I had filmed with Lisa Wu and Sheree and a lot of the OGs, Kenya Moore, obviously, Porsha, Cynthia, but it was my first time filming with Kim Zolciak and Nene, and it was, let me just say, it was a time. It was a lot. Y'all will definitely have to tune in and see Ultimate Girls Trip.
Okay, sounds like Ultimate Girls Trip. The people were cutting up in Ultimate Girls Trip. Sounds like a lot of fun. I actually can't wait to see it. To be fair, I hope this season of Atlanta delivers. I know Nene is not going to be on it, but I hope it still delivers because we need a good season of Atlanta. Potomac has been a letdown, so we need Atlanta to do great, to be good, please.
I was able to do, like I said, the Atlanta style, but it was a lot going on in that scene. And yeah, I think people will be excited to see Nene Leakes back on Bravo.
Now, that's one thing we all agree on. People would be happy to see Nene back. I think the people are definitely ready for Nene to be back because it has been dry in the Bravo universe since Nene left. Okay, let me get the other bits that I want to talk about. I think, let me just make sure there's nothing else in the comments or that we are covering before I move on to Potomac, because I have quite a bit to go through for Potomac. Guys, please hit that like button. Everybody, please hit that like button. Okay. Let me see how you're doing with the poll. Okay, so we asked, who do you think is dragging the divorce between Ralph and Drew? 100%. 100% of the people said it is Ralph. I love that for us. Like, not even one person said it is Drew because the people feel like it definitely is. Oh, looks like there's an update. Today is the day with the breaking news, honey. There is an update on Drew. Like now I'm confused because I don't see it in the chat. I'm looking in. Hold on. Oh, it is here. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Drew Sidora just won big in the divorce court And Ralph Pittman is allegedly is leaving empty-handed. Ooh. Okay, Drew. Okay, so first of all, Bola Alert, shout out to them. It looks like the long drawn out saga between Drew and Ralph is finally hitting the finish line after 3 years of back and forth and a very awkward nesting situation in the same house. A judge has finally cleared the air on the long awaited divorce. Drew previously expressed how taxing the public nature of the breakup has been, stating that her having a divorce record unsealed was like a nightmare for her family, but she's walking away, sorry, with some major wins as they prepare to close this chapter. The court has ordered the former couple to sell their marital home, and split the proceeds, which means no more living on separate floors of the same mansion. On top of that, the judge shot down Ralph's attempt to get alimony for his estranged wife. Ralph is not serious at all. Why are you trying to get alimony from this woman after you say like you're hardworking man who has this, who has that? Like, why? What is the reason? So why are you trying to get alimony? Despite Ralph claiming he deserved a cut of her income because he allegedly increased during their time on Real Housewives of Atlanta, the judge ruled he earns enough, you see? Wonderful. He earns enough to support himself. Wonderful. So Drew does not have to be taking care of this man. Reflecting on the split, Drew once told people, I was hoping for an amicable divorce, and this ruling ensures she won't be paying him to move on. Hallelujah. That is a win for the women, honey. The women who are working hard and have to pay these men. So, yes, a win is a win. The judge also made a final call on the children, granting the pair joint custody and tossing out Ralph's request for full custody. Ralph is funny. What judge was going to give you full custody anyway? This decision aligns with Drew's previous claims that her children were her primary concern throughout the litigation. She has been vocal about the emotional toll, once explaining it was just a culmination of things that should not happen in a marriage, which ultimately led to the court house. Okay, so they finally divorced. The court has circled April 2026 as the date to officially finalize the divorce. Wow. So it's literally towards the end. Let's see. Yeah, so good for her. Someone said party in Drew's basement. What are y'all wearing? That's funny. I'm gonna have me in a nice red dress, a nice body condo red dress. That's what I'm gonna wear to Drew's basement. Someone said good for her because we still don't know what happened when he left all of them. When he left all of them to go to Florida. Yes, as he should. He's such a gaslighter and really tried it, especially since season 15. She was the breadwinner. Anyway, let's not forget she's really an actor and been doing this ish since That's a Raven. This makes me so happy. Divorce is hard, and I'm glad the judge was fair. Prayer for her mental health moving forward. Yep, definitely. Yes, she definitely definitely got through that unscathed, at least as much as possible. Oh, that's what you sent me. Sorry, Bajan, I wasn't picking up that there was an update until I saw Tommy's message about there being an update. Sorry, girl. Basement Billy and Papa can live together. Now everybody can move in together and enjoy their lives. He was trying a Papa move. Bye boy. He really was. Because why would you want alimony from your wife when you work and can pay your bills? It's like you're just trying to get a piece of her pie. And if you're trying to get a piece of that, you should have stayed in the marriage, sir. So yeah, I'm definitely happy for Drew. I think that after 3 years of back and forth, I definitely think that Drew definitely did her best. And I think she tried her best to make it work. I think it didn't. And yeah, I wish everybody the best. Hopefully, Ralph can finally leave her alone. Oh, Bajan is so sweet. Bajan is so sweet. I be really bad with these messages, honey. Really bad. Okay, let's move on to Real Housewives of Potomac. So, as you guys know, Karen had a sit down with Andy. I'll be completely honest with y'all. I know I am a blogger, but I did not watch the full thing. I just said to myself, yeah, I feel like Karen is going to go through a lot of deflection. That was my personal belief. I just felt like Karen was going to go through a lot of deflection, and I didn't want to waste my time watching a whole episode of deflection. And so I said to myself I wasn't going to watch it, but whatever clips would come up on this internet, I will bring that and I will talk about some that I want to talk about. So that's what we're going to do today. First of all, did any of you guys watch the episode where it was Karen and Andy? Put it in the chat if you watched it. Let's know. Let me know yes or no. Put a yes if you watched it. Put a no if you did not watch it. Please put it in the chat so I know who watched it. I think for me, I was definitely like, yeah, I'm not watching this. There was just no way I was going to watch that at all. Was not going to do that. But yeah, let's play the clip and get into it.
I wasn't happy here. Let's be very clear. Ray and I have been very honest about our marriage, and we were going through. We still were. And I was very unhappy. And the kids were gone, and the house was a tomb. And I just wanted to get away that night. I wanted to escape being unhappy. I was so unhappy.
The thing about it, though, is this, right? Bajan didn't watch it either. Yes, sis, I do not blame you. The thing about it either, right? I just think that I hear all these things she's saying, but I always wonder, you were just so unhappy, you were this, like, okay, but that was your fourth DUI. So it's like, were you also unhappy during those times, and what did you do about it after the first, second, and third one? Those are the things I just personally struggle with when I listen to her talk about it like this, right? That's the bit that kind of takes me aback a little bit, because I'm just like, I don't know if she's really trying to take accountability or if she's just trying to be like, well, give excuses for why she did what she did.
I'm just so grateful that that night that I had the accident, that I didn't hit a person. And
Yep.
thank God, because I could have killed someone.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful that I did it. I'm grateful
too.
I'm here. And
Exactly. Now that's something we can both agree on. Like cases of people on getting unalive because of some incompetent, annoying person, horrible person getting behind the wheel and unaliving them. I don't want to use certain words on YouTube. It's horrible, right? And so I definitely am happy for her that she did not get into that. And that did not happen all four times that she did get into. Because think about it, four times, all it would have taken is one person. And so I'm really, really glad for her. And I really feel like God must really love her and be giving her loads of second chances, because it's like, you got four chances. So this better be the last time we ever hear of a DUI. I don't even want to see her drinking nothing. Like, she better be drinking Coke and lemonade all the rest of her life at this point.
And honestly, Andy, I don't drink and drive. This is something I just wouldn't do. So I had to be out of it to do it.
Girl, four times? It's just not something I would do. Like, you did that four times, Karen. This is what I mean, where I'm like, I figured it would not really be full accountability. It's just not something you did, but you did it four times. This is not a one-time thing. Like, don't get me wrong, people make one-off mistakes. But four times? One-off mistake, I'm like, okay. Second time, like, okay. Third time, fourth time.
Well, you did it 4 times.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy. Somebody needs to remind her, because it's like, I don't understand how she's communicating this. Like, I don't know if I'm still here because the thing cut off. I don't know how she's still communicating it like, oh, I don't do this normally. Like, girl, you did it four times. And I love that Andy also said it, because if he didn't, I'm sure the people would have dragged him. Like, why did you let this lady play in your face and act like she's never done this before? Badger says H2O, she better be drinking and non sparkling. Absolutely. She needs to be hydrating all the time, honey. I do not want to see her in anything other than clear liquids.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
I drank in the past and drove.
Okay.
And I had a DUI.
Four?
I had 2 DUIs, not 4.
Okay.
Let's be clear. There were 4 incidents involving alcohol.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So 4 incidents involving alcohol. Okay. So that's 4.
Okay.
2 of them were not DUI.
Okay.
2 of them were not DUI. What were
And the oldest one is 20 years old.
Yes.
Okay, so 2 of them were not DUIs. And the oldest one, what of the most recent one before this one? The oldest one is 20 years ago. So you've been drinking in the span of 20 years. Because why would you have 4 incidents with DUI? I know people that have never even had one, right? 4 incidents with a DUI. 4 separate incidents with, okay, she said with alcohol, if we use her language. If we let her tell it, 4 incidents with alcohol. Okay. 2 were DUIs. So, and then the oldest was 20 years ago. So, you mean to tell me that you've had a 20-year problem when it comes to alcohol? That's what is given to me. Right? And that's not a problem if you are taking ownership and actually getting help for it. The problem is not taking ownership and then acting like everybody else is lying on you and being in denial. Do you remember, was it Jacqueline, who was Mia's friend, who talked about Karen called her drunk? And she denied it and dragged that lady like she was lying when that lady was probably telling the truth. And so it's like at some point you have to be able to take responsibility and be like, do you know what? Maybe you have a drinking problem. Maybe you need to sit down and get well and, before doing anything else. Maybe all of these things that people are saying, maybe I need to take a step back. That's what Karen should have been thinking about.
I want to go back to the day that you were sentenced.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by the severity?
I was shocked. I knew I was going to jail.
Okay.
I had made peace with that. But I thought maybe a month. No.
She thought she was going to get a month. Yes, but this is not your first offense. If it was a first offense, some people could give you just a month. But I think because she had gotten away with it so many times previously, she thought she would get away with it again with a slap on the wrist. But this time around, they're like, nah, you ain't getting no slap on the wrist because, yes, you've been lucky to not have hit people, but you could have. Every single encounter that you've had could have been an opportunity for you to hit somebody.
More than 3, but this was just one more step toward accepting my responsibility for what I did. I wasn't happy here. Let's be very clear. Ray and I.
Right. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Batron says she's lucky she got a year. Yep, she's lucky she did because I suspect they also took her age into context. But most people that have had 4 DUIs, if you go back that way, you will be getting more than 1 year. Someone said more than 20 years ago. Clearly, Karen has been drinking heavily for some time. Glad she got a wake-up call. Hope she recovers. Yep, I definitely hope so. I definitely hope she recovers and continues to recover and stays in recovery. Because sometimes some people can feel like, oh, she's gotten out of jail, now she's cured. Nah, it's still a journey. Especially with someone who has had a long life, a long addiction, has been drinking for as long as she has been drinking for, right? If the oldest DUI was 20 years old, that's a 20-year span of maybe abusing alcohol, right? And so I think it's very important that she takes that step, make sure that even after she comes back, she's still going to AA. But who knows if she's still even taking that seriously at all. I hope she is. All right, let's move on to what Ashley had to say about Angel. Ashley was on Watch What Happens Live. So definitely. So let's play the clip and then let's talk about it.
If you believe Monique was onto something comparing her experience as a wag to Angel's.
I do think that Monique has a different perspective on things. I do want to clear something up too, that Angel has said that I was making her husband look like an angry black man, and I really don't appreciate that narrative. If anything, Bobby got very upset with production and was getting upset with the things that were happening with production.
Okay. Ashley was like, yeah, nah, this is where I'm drawing the line. I am calling it out. Okay. Ashley loves to leave. She's like, I'm gonna show my boobs if I do nothing else.
And he would raise his voice at that, and that was what I was talking about. But never once have I said that Bobby was angry or aggressive, and I would like for Angel to stop perpetuating that narrative.
Okay.
Thank you.
Millie?
Oh, so Ashley decided that she was going to use Watch What Happens Live as a PSA, and she is like, let it be said on the records. I never called this man aggressive. But I guess my question is, did you imply it?
EA wants to know if you believe.
Did you imply
He also said your husband
Let me see what Angel said.
and Bobby didn't want to be there because when he was called, he was like,
yeah, he said, we'll get there when we get there. And I stand on that. And he should have said that. And they deserved it. They should have heard it. And then code switching Ashley is trying to dog whistle him being an aggressive black man. And I didn't appreciate that.
Okay.
She doesn't know him from Adam.
Yeah,
it's very
and
nasty.
I didn't feel that it's a party. You don't have to be there.
No.
Like you can come late.
Yeah.
But I will. But it is okay to say, hey, we're running late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Bajan says forehead likes to play victim. To be honest, like, I get both sides. But I feel like I personally think, knowing how Ashley moves, Ashley probably insinuated something.
Where's Angel? Hold on, let me see. Let's call my girl. Hold on. Hey, babe, I have you on speaker. How far are you away?
We're far. We'll be there.
How far are you? Far, like, how far? Get through. Oh, he.
Bruh. He definitely was not happy. He definitely is not feeling production, that's for sure.
Say get there when we get there. We'll get there, Bobby. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, that doesn't sound very family friendly.
Angel, first of all, you running 2 hours late. Like, why would you even say that? You get there when you get there. Well, actually, turn around and go home. Oh, I forgot. You don't have one.
Eesh.
Why does Bobby have all this energy? Like, sir, pipe down. That Bobby child. I think he got a temper on him.
Well, to be honest, is Ashley wrong? I know people don't like forehead, but is she wrong though? Like, is she wrong though? Don't forget the fact that this man did not even try to say anything to the ladies. He was just looking. Okay, maybe she shouldn't have said he has a temper, but I don't know. But he clearly has something. he doesn't like those women, so I don't know. But Ashley, I think Angel is also well within her rights to defend her man. If that was my man too, I would be defending him as well. So I will say that. So now, apparently, word on the street is that Angel exposed Wendy, allegedly, okay? So, according to Culture News, Angel detonates the franchise with a full-scale expose, unleashing receipts, rage, and raw accusations in what insiders are calling a point of no return. Angel publicly exposes an old DM from Dr. Wendy, then turns her fire on Ashley Darby, accusing her of weaponizing racial dog whistling to brand Angel's husband as an aggressive. A label Angel says was designed to incite fear, stigma, and character assassination. She doesn't stop there. Angel goes to war over the explosive allegations, blasting them as calculated campaign meant to humiliate, isolate, and destroy her credibility on and off camera. Sources say the confrontation left the cast members shaking, alliances fractured, and production scrambling as the accusation spiraled into one of the Real Housewives of Potomac darkest, most volatile showdowns yet. Now, If this is what happened, I hope that she really got everything she needed to get out. Now, I hope this DM that she was exposing from Wendy wasn't something like, oh, Wendy knew me. Because Wendy did not exactly say she did not know you. She just does not know you like that. And when people do all that, oh, you know me. Let me just give a heads up. If anyone ever brings out a DM of me talking to them to then make it seem like I know them, honey, I am in DMs with a lot of people. I do not, that doesn't mean I know you. Not to talk of Wendy with millions or thousands rather of followers. So I don't know, man. That's just where I stand on that. And Bastion says, but Floyd and Grizzle have been poking at Angel all season. Yep, definitely. And I hope she gives it to them at the reunion. From what it sounds like, she definitely was focused on Wendy and Ashley. But where is the smoke for Giselle, though? Which is very interesting. It's almost like Angel knows how to play the game. She knows that she cannot give that much smoke to Giselle because Giselle has quite a pull with Bravo. And before they eventually remove her off the show. So she's probably like, okay, I'm not going to fully go at Giselle because I know production and Bravo and all these people like Giselle. But I'm going to go at Ashley, who the people do not like, and Wendy. That's what I think it is. Because I don't understand. Where is the smoke for Giselle? It just doesn't make sense. But nonetheless, I would be happy to see Angel speak up for herself. I hope that it literally lasts, because you know how sometimes you may say a few things and it just doesn't land. I hope that it lands, because if you're going to be out here speaking for yourself at the reunion, you better make sure it lands, because you've gone to all these interviews, you've had lots to say, so make sure this lands. Guys, please hit that like button. Everybody hit that like button. Okay, so we're going to end today's live with this final clip. We'll talk about it and then we will end the live. All right, so let me refresh so it starts from the start. You all remember that Quad clocked Giselle and talked about the comments that was made. And I definitely think that you all know how I feel about the whole situation, but I'll play this clip, then we'll come back to it.
When we had when we had a commercial break, she asked Andy to ask her about BravoCon so that she could say what she wanted to say.
So she could tee it up.
Right.
So she had planned it. I was not surprised. Remember when I was saying it's given that Quad had planned it and Quad really wanted to get this out of her chest. She was like, I'm gonna say it. I'll find a way to say this one way or another. So I'm not surprised that she tried to get Andy to bring up BravoCon so that she can jump in.
Was obviously practicing and really wanted to get this off her chest.
Right.
And what she doesn't know is if you ask Giselle anything past 2 days ago, I don't remember. Okay.
Right.
Giselle's like, I'm a woman of a particular age, honey. I do not remember. Okay.
Robin will remember. Giselle.
No, it'll take me a minute to remember. Because when you were like starting to tell me the story, I was like, huh? What is she talking about? Like, huh?
What is she talking about? Because we said over and over again, or at least I thought.
Y'all know I said that Giselle does not remember ish. Giselle does not remember. You could even tell from the way she was responding to Quad, and she was so confused, like, what is this girl talking about? And so I just think Quad wanted to have a moment, and that's exactly what she did, in my opinion. Bajan says Angel leaves her chat in confessional. Absolutely. And Giselle threw roommates under the bus. Yes, she did.
We were talking about Atlanta. We were actually talking about K. Michelle, and K. Michelle addressed it, and we addressed K. Michelle.
Well, no. I talked about both Atlanta and Married to Medicine, but the problem is this.
I said this on the Patreon that when we had a commercial break, she asked Andy to ask her about this. Don't know what the beef is. Don't care, actually. And I don't even really understand what is the issue.
Right. So, okay.
To be honest, I don't think that Giselle remembered. Bajan said Gracie is lying. I can't stand her or roommate. She got selective memory when it suits her. I think that Giselle can be a lot of things, and yes, maybe she has lied on in different occasions. On that one with Quad, I don't think she was lying. I watched that back a few times, and I was looking at that lady's expressions. She did not know what Quad was talking about. That lady was confused. That was the vibe I completely got. I think she was definitely confused. She did not know what she was talking about. She was like, huh? Like it definitely looked like she was genuinely unsure what Quad was talking about. And so then she's like, Robin said it. I actually think that she was confused. I don't believe that she actually remembered it at all.
So the issue for this is what I want to, the issue I think is that people maybe did not listen to everything that we said. And if you're just watching clips with headlines that are posed in a negative manner, then that's what you're going to take away from it, right?
Now, I definitely agree with Robin because the way it was said, it was not said in a negative thing at all. I actually watched a longer extended clip that was not, it wasn't the one that was going around. I watched an extended one and I completely got it. It was not, it was geared more towards production, did not have anything to do with, Quad and the Married to Medicine ladies at all. It was a very slight, like it was not even a thing.
Totally.
So if I was there, I wish I was there so that I could kind of clear everything up. The first thing I would say to my soror quad is, and to Miss Jackie, Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone and Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa and Toya, I would say this to all of them. In my opinion, Married to Medicine
don't know what the beef is. Don't care
that we're on other networks and other shows such as Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives. So I said it kind of jokingly, oh my God, Atlanta must be running out of people because now the network is doing something that they traditionally have never done, right? That was not a knock to Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was not a knock to Married to Medicine. It was not a knock to K. Michelle. It was not a knock to Angel from Basketball Wives, who was on Married to Medicine. It was an observation. Okay, maybe it was worded in a shady manner.
It wasn't even. It was so light-hearted. The whole thing, I feel like everyone is taking things way too far, and people forget that this is also, we're here to be entertained at the end of the day. It's not that deep. There was no way that it was said that it was such a negative light. So I am definitely on this one. I'm definitely team Giselle and Robin on this one because I don't believe that there was anything they said that was that deep for Quad to have to come and be trying to check Giselle. Not at all. I watched the whole thing, the whole like an extended clip with all of the context, and that was not how it was said. It was very, very light. And it seemed more geared towards production as opposed to the people.
But it was not a knock to any of those shows.
Exactly.
Or any of those women.
And I said, so they renting and recycling.
Exactly.
That's what they doing.
Exactly. Right. But that still doesn't take away how great the shows are, right? So Soror Quad, if you were offended by what we said, if you think that we were trying to tear your show down or diminish that we're on other.
Like, I don't even know if Robin gave an apology, but I would have kept that. There's no way I'm apologizing for saying something as slight as that. That means when I say something serious and comment on your behavior, you will nail me to the, I don't want to say to the cross, nail me to the wall. Like, seriously, what? Team Reasonably Shady here. Quad had that red rehearsed and was going to get it off no matter what. I love that Giselle paid it dust because it was so unwarranted. Someone says, why didn't she have that energy in Quad's face? She did not remember. Can't remember anything from 2 days ago. And you remember info from seasons that you are damaging to other cast housewives, blah, blah, blah. Guys, she is on a platform where she's doing multiple things. I don't think they said anything wrong. Yep. It definitely wasn't. It's not that deep, guys. It really is not that deep. I'm like, sometimes I feel like the people just don't like them. So anything that comes out of their mouth, that is it. The people do not care. But in actual honesty, it was not that deep. There ain't nothing that was said that was that deep, y'all. But let me know what you guys think. Please hit that like button, everybody. Please hit that like button. I'm considering trying an early live because I came live today at 8 p.m. my time. And because I don't know, sometimes I just find that when I come on live like quite late, I finish at 11 p.m. or sometimes 11:30, I'm way too tired and then I can't sleep well because I'm too overly stimulated from being on live. So I want to trial 8 p.m., see if it works for you guys. On some days I'm going to be doing 8 p.m. lives. And 3 p.m. lives my time I'm on UK time. So that will probably be afternoon for some of you guys. Eastern, probably. Um, but so far I would probably be trying a similar time. And I will be trying maybe 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. If I feel like you guys don't like it, then I'll still stick to 9 p.m. because I noticed that most of you guys joined in around 9 p.m. today. So it's definitely giving you guys like the later time, but sometimes it's hard. I will try my best though. But yeah. Passion says she needs to go to the doctors and get her memory sorted. Oops. And a hoop. Tommy says, I don't know. I don't care for Giselle either. She's pretty though. Yeah, she definitely is. And I get it. I don't really care for Giselle either. I don't, to be honest, none of the people on Potomac are likable. I don't like none of them. Um, I think that there was a point where I liked Tia. I still kind of, I won't say I like her. I'm kind of like in between now with every one of them. Um, who else would I say? Yeah, I don't really like Potomac much as a show. So I'm not really that invested with the girls on the show either. I like certain things about each of them. Like for instance, I like Monique's hair. I like how pretty Monique is, right? With Kay, I love how her skin looks. I love what her mom looks like. Like I feel like with all of them, I have specific things I like about each of them, but I don't know if I like their personality at all. Tommy said Stacy is my fave. Yeah, honestly, I don't see what you see in Stacy. I definitely think she is lighthearted and fun, entertaining, but I hate the lies. I cannot stand lies. I'm a very I don't know how to explain. I don't like when people lie unprovoked and are constantly lying. Like there's no reason. You know how when you lie because like maybe like you could get in trouble at work or like you could lose your job. Those kind of things I understand. But when you're just lying for no reason, nobody can trust you. I always think about it as if this person was my friend, how would I handle it? There's no way, Tommy's laughing at me. There's no way I can deal with having a friend that is just lying unprovoked. I remember I had a friend like that actually. I loved her to bits, but she was a liar. She would lie about everything. She would lie about having meetings when she didn't have meetings. She lied about working in finance where she wasn't when she wasn't working in finance. She was just always lying unprovoked. And even though I had so much fun with her and everything, it got to a point I got tired of the lies. I got tired of the lies. I remember there was even a point where I confronted her about one of the lies because I then introduced her to a couple of people and then she went over there lying as well. So now it was then coming back to me. People are now questioning my integrity. And I'm just like, you see, like, why were you over there lying when I got you in contact with certain people? These people can help you. Why are you over there lying? So, girl, I cannot stand people that lie unprovoked. I always feel like there's no need to lie like that. Like, what is the reason? And especially when you're friends with somebody, it becomes exhausting. So I'm definitely I don't mind. I don't blame Wendy for that. I definitely think that Wendy was probably just tired. Imagine being friends with someone that, as someone who has been friends with someone that was lying unprovoked, I definitely get it. It's not a good place to be. you can't even trust anything they see out of their mouths. It's not a good place. It may be entertaining for the rest of the people watching it, but for you, you will not find it entertaining. Bajan says when it first started 10 years ago, it was good. You couldn't wait till the next season, but now I more leave it. Yeah, I definitely think that that's the thing with some of these shows, right? You see how sometimes when it's a scripted show, after a while they do the end of the show because you can't continue to drag it out, right? And so I definitely feel like that's what is happening here. I feel like they've dragged it on for too long, and it's just like, yo, there's nothing else these people can give us unless you're giving us a new group, unless you're giving us a new group of people, then sure. But if you're not giving us a new group of people, you're just wasting our time, in my opinion. You're just wasting our time. So that's where I am with it. But anyway, not Bajan and Tommy doing romance. I'm with you, Team Stacy. Aw, don't worry. Tonight, I don't have Super in the chat tonight. If I had Super in the chat tonight, Super would be Team, not Stacy. So Super would be Team me, honey. If your ex-friend was working in a shop, she was working finance, she's dealing with money. Yep, that is what it was given. That is what she was saying, honey. And it was given. So now the people were asking me, where is she? Where is she? And I'm like, she said she was in a meeting. And he's like, what meeting is she doing at night? So now all the questions start coming, and I'm just thinking, like, I'm not a liar, and you're putting me in a position where you want me to be having to lie for you. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Why would you be saying you work in finance with people that can change your life? Like, what are you doing? You know, so that's how she actually lost that opportunity, because those people actually wanted to help her. But because she made it seem like, she got it together, she was doing finance, and then they found out it was a whole lie, and they did not want no parts of her. We can't trust you. And so that's why I'm like, it starts off with little lies until the lies start to impact serious-ish. But yeah, so, but it's funny you actually give this example, because that's exactly what it was. That was exactly what it was. And but yeah, Tommy is encouraging this. Tommy said, you get it. You all are too funny, man. But yeah, I was like, I am not involved. Don't put me in the middle of ish having to come and now lie for you. No, I will not be doing that. For me, all the reality TV shows aren't the same as when they first started. Yep. To be honest, you're right about that. Real Housewives of Atlanta is not the same as when it started. The good thing though about Real Housewives of Atlanta is low-key, it feels like some of them have a little bit of personality. So maybe a little bit enough to give us something with a little bit of fun, right? Drew has a cute little personality. Porsha does as well. Who else? Oh, I can't stand little Chihuahua, but like some of them have a little bit of spice, a little bit of personality to them. They're fun. They're not annoying. And so I think that's why I would still rather watch Atlanta over Potomac, personally. Who else? But I'm actually thinking, guys, of covering Love is Blind. I'm actually thinking of covering Love is Blind. I want to start exploring some other types of shows. Also, I recently posted, I want to also do a lot of deep dives. I really want to tap into, some of the previous experiences that I've had in my life, and I just really want to tap into that. So I did a video where I talked about Evelyn Luzada basically laughing at some of the comments that the game was making about her grandbaby, basically, and as about taking care of the grandbaby, I mean. So I kind of went into a bit of a deep dive in relation to that. So you guys make sure you watch that video. There's some other videos as well on the channel, so please make sure you watch. Yes, please hit the like button. The likes are not matching at all. Yes, today the people were stingy with the likes. Maybe it's because I didn't sing for them. Because normally I would be like, "Don't be stingy with the likes." So maybe that's why the people were stingy with the likes today, honey. The people were not trying to give their likes up. But yeah, guys, please let's hit the like button. Yeah, nah, the likes really was not matching today, y'all. Really was not matching. So please let's try and do better. It's a free way to support. At least I'm not over here asking for super chats. Not saying that if y'all send it, I will say no, but like all I'm asking for is likes, honey. So please hit that like button. Tommy said, unpopular opinion, I miss Brit. Yes, I would love Brit back. Personally, I've always said that. Towards the end of the season, I really started to like Brit um when she called Kelly a little chihuahua, and she really called out Kelly. Kelly was teaming up with Shamia and was trying to basically come at Brit, and Brit was like, hell no, you ain't about to play with me. Okay. And so I was definitely proud of Brit for handling that. I definitely wish that she could have stayed longer. I think she would have been fantastic on the show. Her and Porsha would have been drop dead gorgeous twins, giving us the fun, cute girl aesthetic on the show. So yeah, I would have loved to see more of them. But yeah, definitely would have loved to see more of Brit. So I'm with you, sis. I don't even think it's as unpopular as you think, because sometimes I've seen people in the comments really talking about like, well, every time they see Kelly, they're just like they wish Brit was there to like rid Kelly for filth, right? So I look-y think like Brit knew how to handle Kelly. So yeah, I was definitely there with it. All right, my lovelies. I think this is also a sign. My computer has said low battery. So maybe I'm going to take this as a sign to head out. Thank you so much, everybody. Please click on the like button, everybody. And let me just have a quick look and see if there's any final comments. Tommy is saying I miss Brit. Bajan is saying leave now. Honestly, I would like Brit back too. I won't go as far as saying I miss her, but I would like her back as well. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. Thanks for the feedback and thanks for the engagement in the chat, in the likes as well. Even though some of y'all did not like the videos today, the video today or the live today, I don't know what's happening with that. Maybe you guys forgot. But thank you, everybody. And see you in the next stream. Have a wonderful night to everybody. See you guys later. Bye, everyone. Good night. Good night. Good night, Bashan. Good night, Tommy. Good night.